All right, welcome back to another episode of Math with Mr. Young. Today we're going to work with 6.1 writing equations in one variable. Our standard is 6th grade evaluating expressions A, and our objective is that we're going to be able to write equations in one variable and write equations that represent real life problems. Our mathematical literacy, we have equations. All right, with 6.1, we're going to work with writing equations in one variable. Our success criteria is that we're going to be able to identify keywords and phrases that indicate equality. We're also going to be able to write word sentences as equations and also create equations to represent real life problems. All right, our mathematical literacy, we have equation. Now, equation is a math sentence that uses an equal sign in it. Okay, so here you have an equal sign. And we use an equal sign to show that two expressions are of equal value. So if I have the expression here, 4 plus 8, that's an expression with no equal sign. It's a numerical expression, just nothing but numbers. To write this expression as an equation, you would have still the same numerical expression, 4 plus 8, but to make an equation, to make it into an equation, we're going to put an equal sign here and then add your two addends. 4 plus 8 equals 12. Now this makes it an equation, and without the equal sign, it's called an expression. Let's try one more. Let's try an algebraic equation now, or I'm sorry, an algebraic expression. So x plus 8. Now, this is an algebraic expression because there's an alphabet here. There's a letter, the letter x, that represents an unknown value. We call that a variable. Now, to make this algebraic expression into an equation, again, x plus 8 is still going to equal 12. So we don't know the value of x, but in this case, we work backwards. We work with inverse operations, meaning that we work with opposites. For an example, to find out the value of x here, we know that x plus 8 equals 12. We know the total is 12. One of the addends is 8. So we work backwards. We work with the opposite operation. So we have addition here. The opposite of addition is subtraction. So 12 minus 8 is going to be 4. Thus, x equals 4. So if we plug in 4 here plus 8, it does equal 12. All right, to piggyback right off of that, to continue with mathematical literacy, here we have different operations. We have addition with the operator sign, plus sign. We have subtraction with the operator sign, the subtraction symbol, multiplication, and division. Okay. Now in operation, we're going to look at keywords and phrases. So whenever you hear added to, that means to add. Plus, sum of, more than, increased by, total of, and all tell you to add. To subtract, subtracted from, minus, difference of, less than, decreased by, fewer than, take away, all tell you to subtract. These keywords and phrases that tell you to multiply are multiplied by, times, product of, and twice. They all tell you to multiply. And divided by, quotient of, and per all tell you to divide. Okay. Take a screenshot of that. I believe it was the Windows button, hold that down, and then F10 if you have a Chromebook. And then if you have an iMac, iMac Pro, whatever, it's going to be Control, Alt, and 3. All right, here we're going to write equations with one variable. Again, listen to keywords and phrases. So we have A, B, and C. Let's work with A first. So the sum of a number n and 7 is 15. So if we look here, it says the sum of a number n. So the sum of a number, the sum of tells you to add. Okay, so we don't know what n is, but that's a variable n. So whatever n is, we're going to add that to 7, and that is going to equal 15. Now, in mathematics, the word is, that is basically an equal sign. Anytime you see the word is, that indicates and denotes that is an equal sign. Okay. Anytime you hear or see a number, this is basically a variable, and it tells you what variable. It tells you it's variable in, and then sum of tells you to add. Okay, so the sum of a number n, so whatever n is, we add that to 7, and right here it tells you to add. So the sum over number n plus 7 is going to be equivalent to 15. Okay, let's try that again. This time would be, this one says a number y decreased by 4 is 13. So again, is here tells you that's an equal sign. 13 is a total. So a number y decreased by 4 is 13. So whatever y is, we're going to decrease 4 from it, and it's going to equal 13. All right, the last one, you have 48 equals 12 times a number p. So 48 equals 12 times the number p. So whatever 12 is, we're going to multiply that by p. There you go. 48 equals 12 times the number p. Now remember, whenever you have a coefficient and a variable, you're always going to be multiplying. So you use the distributive property, 12 times whatever p is equals the product, and that should equal 48. Again, work backwards. You know, if you're multiplying here, 12 times something equals 48. So you would divide 48 by 12. So p would equal 4, because 12 times 4 equals 48. So p equals 4. Well, like I said there. All right, there you go. Again, to find missing values, just look at the operator sign and do the inverse operation, meaning that do the opposite in with the known values that you have, work backwards, and you will find the missing values. All right, moving on to the next example. So this time we're going to write an equation using a whole paragraph here. So let's pay attention. So we have this picture, and I'm not the best artist, but we do have a picture here that we're going to be using. It looks like we have different options here. And let's go ahead and read this. So we have 10 servers, and these 10 servers decorate 25 tables for a wedding. So they decorate 25 tables for a wedding. Each table is decorated as shown. So if you look here, there looks like purple candles and yellow candles. So here's the yellow candles and purple candles. So we have 4 yellow candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 purple candles. Okay, so each table has 4 yellow candles and 6 purple candles. Let C be the total number of yellow and purple candles. Which equation can you use to find C? So I'm guessing that C stands for candles. Okay, so we have A, C equals 25 plus 4 times 6. B, C equals 25 times 4 plus 6. Okay, so let's just go ahead and figure this out. So we know that there's a total. We want to know how many candles there is. We want to know how many candles we're going to need. So what we do know is that there's 25 tables, and we have to multiply that by 4 yellow candles, and then add that to 6 purple candles. So which one matches this? Nope, not A. Possibly B. Not C, not D. So it's B. So these two match. Because if you think about it, the servers, 10 servers decorate 25 tables. It tells us there's 25 total tables here for a wedding. Each table is decorated as shown. So there's 4 yellow candles and 6 purple candles for every one of those 25 tables. So 4 plus 6 equals 10. So there's 10 candles. And then, of course, you multiply that. See, 10, and then multiply that by 25. That's going to be 250 candles. Okay, so C equals 250. But we're just matching the equation. Okay, there you go. All right, so some of you guys participated in spelling bee competitions when we were in person in learning in the classroom. So let's talk about this and model real life equations, or model real life here using and writing equations. So imagine that after 2 rounds, so you pretend that you're in the spelling bee, okay? And after 2 rounds, there's 24 students that are eliminated from the spelling bee. And there are 96 total students remaining. So what we want to do real quick is to write an equation here, and then find the number of students who started at the beginning of the spelling bee. Okay. So let me use the variable s for students. We do know that 24 of them are out and there are 96 remaining. Okay. So I have s minus 24 equals 96. One more time. The S stands for students. 24 students are eliminated from the spelling bee, so we have 24 less than from what we started with. But we do know that there are 96 students still remaining. So we want to know the number of students who started the spelling bee. So again, use inverse operations. The opposite of subtraction is addition. So 96 plus 24. This is 10, 12. So I'm going to say that S here equals 120. So if I substitute 120 for S and subtract 96 or 24, it should equal 96. So if you want, I can stack them. Okay, borrow, this is a 1, 6, and then of course, think of it as 11, take away 2 is 9. So this is 96, and 96 is equivalent to 96, so it checks. So yes, S does equal 120. So we started with 120 students. After 2 rounds, 24 students are eliminated, and we have 96 students remaining. But we did start with 120 students. All right, there you go. And that's basically it. Just remember that for the keywords and phrases that you understand, and again, take a picture of this and use this to help you guys out when you're writing equations in one variables. And again, just to recap, equations, don't forget that all they are, just like algebraic and numerical expressions, but equations just only have equal signs. So that's the only difference, really. Okay. And just to recap for 6.1, writing equations in one variable. By now, you should be able to identify keywords and phrases that indicate equality. You should also be able to write word sentences as equations and also create equations to represent real life problems. All right. Again, please be here every day. Turn in your missing assignments. Come to the required tutorings. Ask for help, and let me know. Please be here on time and get those missing assignments in. Your grades can change.